Hey guys, what is up, and I welcome each and every one of you to a new League of Legends video. So today we're going to be going over a post that was released extremely recently, actually, by Riot Games, of course, nonetheless. So this is going to be an interesting one. Came out of nowhere, I'll be honest. I was ready to head out, get lunch, and whatnot, and I sit down on my computer for 2 minutes and I see this post and I'm like, well then, preseason 2022, guys, overview. So they're going to be talking about their goals and what they want to do for the preseason coming up. So this is pretty exciting. I have absolutely no information. I don't know what it is going to be. Reading this for the first time myself, let's get it started. If you're excited, if you enjoy, whatever, don't forget to hit that like button. Ladies and gentlemen, it does help a lot, but let's get into this. So, from changing Summoner's Rift with Rise of the Elements to building up and refining the item system with the Mythic Forge update, the last two pre-seasons focused on reimagining and revamping long... Okay, here we go, whatever, who cares? We want to know what they're doing. We know what they did. So in short, here are our high-level goals this pre-season. Improve and build upon existing game systems and reward progression in a more meaningful way. Now, I'm not going to go into this yet, but I remember I was at PAX for one of them, some Riot event, and then they were all like talking to us. Like they invited, I remember it was like me, Tyler, Mo, I think, and KP, I think it was. I forgot. And then we were talking to like the people that are in charge of like, the new stuff at Riot. And I remember one of the things I suggested, and I still think this is a fantastic idea. Hopefully they are going to do this, is make Dragon and Baron more like an actual raid boss battle. Make Dragon like fly around or something like that, throwing like fireballs everywhere. Like Baron is like an actual raid boss, instead of what it is now, which is just boring as hell. So let's see what happens. Our original goal was to increase game-to-game variance by creating a variety of distinct and memorable environments for players to master. Rise of the Elements brought us map terrain transformations, new powerful dragon souls, and a game-ending Elder Dragon buff. These changes largely succeeded in making each game feel more unique than the last. With that said, we think there's room for us to expand the possible unique environments players find themselves in on Summoner's Rift. We have a couple goals in mind while we examine potentially new additions to the Dragon space. So, creating new terrain features that contribute to unique matches and alter how the game plays out after the map transforms, and expanding the thematic possibilities of what empowers a dragon and how that empowers champions on the Rift. So they want to do more things with Dragon, it seems like. Again, one of my personal suggestions is like when you're fighting, based on the dragon, like let's say it's Fire Dragon, flies up, and then there's like other Fire Dragons, or there's like little molten like lava balls essentially flying in different areas around the dragon area or like the river area, so you have to like dodge it on top of that. So if you're team fighting, it's like more intense. It's like an actual raid fight, especially with Baron, in my opinion, right? It's just at the moment they're both tank and spank. Like there's nothing to dodge essentially. Even if you get hit by Baron's little tendril thing in the ground, like literally who gives a shit? Doesn't do anything. It will be more interesting if those were actually like, kind of like a WoW or Final Fantasy or something like raid fight. That'd be really cool, I think. Anyways, items. The Mythic Forge update brought a lot of changes to itemization. We originally set out to ensure that all champions are able to make different strategic decisions through item choice in every game. While we continue to think this is the right goal, we've heard your feedback that having to make a strategic decision about every item in your inventory isn't always desired or possible, especially in high-tension games. Who said this, huh? Which one of you were saying this? This is not true. We still want you to make a meaningful choice at the mythic level for every champion, but we don't want legendary items to be held to the same standard. I mean, they shouldn't be to the same standard, but it also should be based on the match that you're playing. What? Some legendary items should be perfect for a few champions instead of being okay for a lot of them. There are currently I disagree with this personally, because like then it's just going to be you're buying the same legendary items literally every single game. There are currently a few gaps that we've noticed with this goal in mind, so we're exploring the following spaces. So they want to do this. So they want to have more mythic options for support champions and improved legendary item options for pretty much every other class. I don't know. They use the word improved. I don't think they know what... I don't think they think what improved actually means. The way they described it, I personally disagree with. Like, some legendary items should be perfect for a few champs instead of being okay for a lot of them. It's like... That's like making it worse in my opinion, because then it's like you're literally going to be buying these same legendary items literally every single game, essentially literally every game, if they're just perfect. I mean, if they're perfect for a few champs and you're playing, let's say I don't know, Zed, and there's 4 legendary items that are just perfect, you're going to be buying those 4 legendary items literally every game. The only thing that will change is a mythic item. I don't know, I personally think it'll be more interesting if you could have a little bit more variety there, and based on what you're facing. I personally think that's the way to go, but maybe that's too complicated. I don't know. They are trying to make the game easier with every season, so who knows. Runes. Oh, this is an interesting one. So we've continued to monitor both the use rates and the power levels of runes across the systems, and we think there are some good targeted changes we can make to the system. Most obviously, we feel the inspiration tree's identity has been fairly unclear. I believe that's the one with like Hex Tech Flash, the free boots, that kind of stuff. And we like to broaden its keystone use cases. During preseason, you can expect reworked inspiration keystones, right? That's, of course, going to be the really weird... I forgot what it's called. The one that used to be Klepto. Now it's like the weird summoner spell thingy that no one uses. What's it called? You have the Frost one. Forgetting all the names, man. But the one with the Frost where you auto-attack, it slows them. And I've been playing this game for a really long time. And Inspiration runes, LOL. And I completely... forgot what the keystones are. Of course, Unsealed Spellbook. That's the one. Unsealed Spellbook. Okay, I actually think Unsealed Spellbook is pretty okay. Omnistone. Come on. Glacial Augment. Abusable. Pretty abusable. IMO. Anyways, secondary rune balance adjustments. Cool. Objective bounties. Champion bounties act as a way to even out the game by getting extra gold from killing enemy champions that have gained a lead. True. They've been around for a while and have been successful, so we don't plan on making changes to them. Cool. But we think that we can give you additional ways to get back into a game when the going gets tough, namely in the form of objective bounties. The goal of these are to give losing teams more strategic options to get back in the game through taking objectives. Now, the issue with this is that if a team is just so far ahead, they're just going to get even more ahead because now they're going to get extra gold based on these objectives. Unless these objectives only give you extra rewards if you're like severely behind or something like that. And then the only reason a team that's ahead would want to get these objectives is to literally just to prevent the enemy team from getting it and getting a big bonus. So we'll see how this goes. Generally speaking, we think the average game length is in a good spot right now. Really, the average game length is like 10 minutes, literally. And I mean that. It's literally 10 minutes. The game is over by 10-15 minutes because some lane, if not multiple lanes, have hinted so hard that their mental has literally exploded. Their head is literally on fire and the game is essentially over. Like 8 out of 10 times. I'm just saying. If you're just that good in dominating your lane opponent and snowballing the game, the advantage shouldn't just disappear altogether. So keep an eye on these changes. Exactly. They also want to make it so that if you are ahead, well, you don't want to just lose. It's like, because if you're too ahead, then only the team that's losing only gets like all these like benefits now. Then it's also kind of like, well, what's the point of being ahead? This is like a fine line that they have to walk really carefully. You can mess this up extremely easily. So they got to be really careful with how they proceed. New and updated systems, challenges. One of the new systems we're hoping to implement during preseason 2022 is challenges. Through the challenges system, a player will be rewarded for all of the challenging, unique, and fun goals that they achieve throughout their games. We've designed the system to assess a broad spectrum of league feats, so no matter what your playstyle is, there's something uniquely you to shoot for and celebrate. Not much of a ranked player, but okay, whatever. Players can track their general mastery and investment in League of Legends. Players can visualize and compare a variety of accomplishments. And players have many different types of challenges and accomplishments to progress and strive towards. Okay, I mean, I personally don't care about this, but I'm sure some people will care. I personally don't really give a shit. Progression identity update. So we kind of briefly talked about this in a recent video where they were like updating the client. If you haven't checked that out, make sure you check it out. Literally uploaded that a couple days ago. I'm assuming this is related to it. Actually, it literally is because this is, I'm pretty sure, exactly the video we talked about. Yeah, this is the one we talked about. So part of the concepts and explorations we showed you included a series of identity changes that will allow you to customize who you are to others at a glance. This includes showing off your accomplishments and who you are in specific challenges through tangible elements in and around the game with things like titles, tokens, and rank, etc. I mean, okay, that's pretty cool. That's not... I mean, we already talked about that. I don't want to go over that again because we quite literally discussed that in a full video over here. And so they're essentially just expanding on that ever so slightly. But the biggest things to take away from this, guys, for the preseason 2022 is that they want to mess around with more dragon stuff, make this even more impactful. I, again, personally stand by my idea for Dragon and Baron, make them more like a raid boss fight instead of like the most... essentially just an overpowered minion that has just higher stats. Other than that, it's the same thing. It's essentially fighting a caster minion with much higher stats. It's kind of lame. They want to change around items, which I somewhat disagree with what they're explaining here. Maybe they just explained it poorly, but so far I disagree with their changes to this. Hopefully they make it work, and I like it, and everyone else likes it, of course, as well. But we'll see how that goes. And of course, they want to rework essentially just the inspiration thing entirely, the tree entirely, and objective bounties. So I think maybe getting like a dragon if you're losing will get you bonus gold. But either way, guys, I want to sit here for 30 seconds so the video gets to 10 minutes. Hope you guys don't mind. Got to get those mid rolls in, of course. You know how we do, guys. But either way, JK, thanks for watching regardless. Let me know what you think about it down below. That was a really bad joke. A little bit cringe as well. Sorry for that. But either way, see you guys for the next one. Peace.